Guys, I did something. And there is no going back till tomorrow. There's a strange bright line phenomenon where when some sort of boundary is set that is quite clear and you need to stay within those boundaries, and under certain circumstances the boundary is crossed, it's almost as if there's no going back. It's like once you cross that line, it causes a crazy earthquake and the tectonic plates shift from the ground and separates and prevents you from making any other reasonable decision the rest of the day. It's science. You've had one iota extra, may as well take on a whole pizza or gallon of ice cream while you're at it. When you don't meet the criteria exactly, it kind of eats at you, pun intended. Drains any motivation, and it feels like this whole process is worthless, at least for the rest of the day. It feels like once you've broken it totally until you sleep, and then the next day it's okay again. Allowing one mistake to pile on top of another. That's like getting mad at yourself because you lose your wallet, and then going back to the bank and emptying out all your accounts right into the trash. It's like getting mad because you ran over a nail on the way home and popped a tire, and then you got home and popped the other 3 tires. It's like getting irritated because you stubbed your finger playing basketball and then went home and slammed your whole hand to the door. It's like forgetting to turn in a homework assignment and then not doing any more for the rest of the whole semester. I could go on. The reality is that the ridiculosity of such analogies parallel the food example almost exact. Going off plan a little bit does not mean you give yourself permission to act like a jackass. In any of these other situations, the logical response would be, you know what? I'll just go get my tire fixed. Or maybe I'll put my finger in a splint. You know what? Maybe I'll put a reminder on my calendar to turn in my homework next time. There's just no logic in continuing to make mistakes after you make one. This is a numbers game. It does add up. It's not like you made one mistake. There's physiology at play here, and that physiology is additive. It's easy to resign yourself and think, well, I already screwed it up, I can't screw it up anymore. Well, that's patently false. The reality is that you have made one mistake, but you do not have to make many more small mistakes, or one more that makes you into a total dork. You have the opportunity to turn one mistake into a million mistakes. This is good. You don't get a reset. You can't just say the day is done. Time is a construct. The body will absorb calories on a 24-hour basis regardless. It doesn't matter what time of day it is, or what day it is, the calorie get absorbed regardless. Making mistakes is totally normal. You can work to prevent them.
You're not perfect. We ain't perfect. Nobody is.
And when you do make one, you can learn next time. You can take responsibility for these. That's good, as well you should. It is what will prompt you to auto-regulate your behavior. But turning yourself into a criminal and punishing yourself is like cutting off your nose to spite your face. You find yourself goofing up, there's a scripted conversation you can have with yourself to break it down. 1. What exactly was going on? 2. What are the negative parts of the conversation that I've had with myself before the decision was made? 3. The next time this happens, and it will, how can I respond to the negative comments I made to myself in that conversation? And what are the different actions I can take? Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. If you have much experience conversing with the people who have tried to diet and have never dieted before, you'll notice that people who have never dieted before and have never had to don't really have the issue of, whoa man, I went a little bit off track. I may as well set everything on fire. The next day, they may naturally just eat a little less. Or they realize they may have acted like a silly goose, and then, okay, time to move on. Reflect at other times at your life when you've made a mistake and it didn't have to do with food. Did you decide that the best option was just to blow everything up? Does it make sense to continue to pile on mistakes that have to do with the original mistake? Think about the ridiculous comparison where, we made a few minutes ago. Make a couple of your own obnoxious comparisons. You ever come home to a hot house after a long day's work in the middle of the summer because you forgot to turn on the air conditioner? And you get mad at yourself and decide you're not going to use the air conditioner the rest of the summer? Come up with a few of your own ridiculous comparisons. I know you can. It'll make just as much sense as piling on calories after you make a mistake or two. After you go over a little bit on accident, or maybe even a little bit on purpose, understand that your body doesn't give a damn what time it is or what day it is. There's no such thing as a reset. The day is not shot. Everything is on a continuum. Your metabolism doesn't magically restart itself. It doesn't matter what time of day calories are consumed, they all get absorbed just the same. After you realize you were a goon, but made a mistake, bust out as quickly as you can a cost-benefit analysis. What is the price you pay for just moving on with your life, and what is the price you pay for continuing to act like a knucklehead? Remember to have this scripted conversation with yourself when a mistake is made. 1. What the heck is going on? What happened? 2. What is the conversation I had with myself that led to this negative conclusion? What thoughts did I have that justified me making a decision that would hurt my progress? 3. Next time this happens, and it will, how will you respond to these negative thoughts? And what will your actions be? The scripted conversation will go a long way. Take your time, break it down. The world is not over. It's a biological continuum, not a psychological binary. Keep going.